This is part 5 of a 6-part parenting series. In this video, I will be addressing the authoritative parent. Before continuing, I would like to passionately thank all viewers for sticking with us in this parenting series. Just know that there is no perfect parent, as we all make mistakes. However, we can all strive the same for our children's emotional and psychological needs through a shared goal of patience. With that heads up, let's be educated. According to an article by the UCLA Center for Mental Health in Schools, it gives us some key information into the authoritative parenting style. Authoritative parents are characterized as making reasonable demands and being highly responsive. They have high expectations and set basic limits while listening to and validating their child and ensuring the youngster has the appropriate support and guidance to succeed and be independent. They apply discipline fairly and discuss the reasoning behind the discipline and how to change behavior in the future. They recognize children's rights and individual differences, and they continually convey caring love and warmth. Before moving on, I believe that it's important that we don't confuse authoritative parenting with another parenting style I talked of in this series, authoritarian parenting. A Psych Central article helps to clarify the major differences between these parenting styles. Authoritarian parenting places more focus on rules and punishment and less on nurturing, communication, and opportunities for negotiation. Authoritative parenting, however, focuses on creating structured environments for children to learn and thrive by communicating clear expectations and consequences with empathy and patience. With that distinction fully separated, you can see that the authoritative parenting approach entails the best outcomes for children's growth and development. Many researchers and psychologists have highly recommended this style for its effective ability to combine emotional warmth and responsiveness with the high standards and boundaries needed for the child's success. This approach is common, but not at all applied to families in the middle class, and also educated families, where parents using the authoritative parenting style recognize their child's inner needs, while also being very attuned to their overall well-being. Children are provided with supportive tools and resources so that they can navigate their world with the confidence and stability of their parents. Let's cover the pros of this style. Our first pro is that children under authoritative parenting are able to develop secure relationship attachments with their caregivers. Since children are being brought up in a responsive and loving environment at an early age, no wonder it does nothing more than strengthen the emotional bond and make kids feel connected. Having high standards in place also serves to build more positive relationships in the family dynamic, as the children better understand the value of the rules while feeling respected and heard. With this, authoritative parents benefit from less parenting stress, as they know that their children will appreciate and follow these rules under the guidance of the parent. Our next pro is that children are protected from developing serious mental health concerns later in life. Concerns such as depression and anxiety are reported less by children with authoritative parents because their inner emotions and feelings are heavily guided by their caregivers, as parents recognize the causes for these responses and come up with solutions and coping strategies together with the child so that they can know how to best manage these feelings effectively on their own by looking at the parent's example. This ties into our next pro, in which children under this parenting style are more likely to have positive behavioral outcomes when they learn how to regulate their emotions and are taught to be well-mannered. Since good behavior is positively reinforced and instilled in the household, children have more of a solid foundation to rely on which they can better adapt to the authoritative practices and standards held in the home. This also means that children become more functionally aware of the surrounding impact of their behavior, which plays a key role in the function of others. This leads to our next pro, in which, through empathy and understanding, children are able to foster better communication and pro-social skills that benefit society as a whole. This parenting style allows for open lines of communication when setting rules. This means that children have a chance to fully interact and have a discussion about these rules with their parents, Therefore, developing the child's communication skills and confidence when they converse with other people. Having the special ability to agree and disagree respectfully, especially when it comes to conversation, makes people feel more naturally gravitated toward the child and their personality, therefore giving that child greater self-esteem in the way they view themselves and their capabilities. Our final pro for this parenting style is that kids are more likely to be academically successful and creative when independence is encouraged. Since authoritative parents are involved in the child's schooling, but also consider the child needing a strong work ethic and being self-reliant as it comes to succeeding in future career paths. Children are able to become more creative problem solvers as parents encourage them to share their own individual thoughts and solutions. Kids with authoritative parents are also more likely to be highly self-motivated when caregivers train resilience and a sense of determination for them to not only succeed academically, but to excel in life. Therefore, children also have higher life satisfaction when they are guided by parents in the right direction in thinking for their future. Given these pros, you can see that the authoritative parenting style features many great advantages for children so that they can be able to crucially learn and thrive with the important skills needed in adulthood. Even though these pros are highly beneficial, there are some potential cons that we need to be aware of. Even though there are no specific drawbacks to this style, in particular, we all need to take into consideration that authoritative parenting requires significant time, effort, and emotional energy to balance being responsive and setting boundaries. Parents who have to go to work every day in order to care for the needs of the family, or if they're experiencing periods of immense stress in their own lives, can find this parenting style very challenging to implement. Another thing that we need to take into consideration is that parents also need to take into account of their children's own unique personalities and behaviors when determining the best parenting method. It is a solid statement that all kids do not all respond in the exact same way to boundaries, rules, or even their parents' support and nurturing. The fact of having to deal with very difficult and disruptive behavior from children can sometimes drive these parents to a breaking point. They may become more strict and psychologically controlling as they're so stressed out with the challenges of raising children, or they may become tempted to give up entirely on trying to enforce good behavior, despite their strong will not to do so, and really wanting to set an authoritative example for their kids. So, in this final analysis, how can we strive for a more ideal authoritative parenting style? Or if not entirely, how can we address our children's social, emotional, and physical needs while still respecting the underlying resources and circumstances of the family? Through all the powerful tips and solutions we offered throughout this parenting series, I believe that it's important to reiterate the fact that there is no perfect parent. Being authoritative takes a lot to juggle and maintain, setting firm limits while being loving and receptive to the child's needs. Therefore, the key is to give ourselves the time and space we need to adapt to the healthy communication skills and mindsets that are ultimately desired for the family's well-being. Parents also need to come to a common agreement about parenting practices and be flexible when changes are required in the home, as a high degree of patience is called for on the part of everyone in the family dynamic. A Choosing Therapy article understands that we are just human with human emotions and are trying the best we can to be patient and composed as we guide our kids through authoritative parenting. It can be hard to remain patient when your children push your buttons. It is okay to feel frustrated with your children. Still, remember to cope with this irritation instead of taking it out on your child. Giving yourself a time out when you are angry is one helpful way to calm down. Doing so also models self-care for your child. A Parenting for Brain article gives us some final reflective thoughts on this topic. When you start adopting this democratic parenting style, it can feel overwhelming, and you may sometimes doubt your abilities. Some days will go smoothly, some will be chaotic. Strive for progress over perfection. Reflect on what went well or could improve. Then give yourself credit for showing up. Authoritative parenting is a journey of growth for parents too. Stay committed to compassion and patience with yourself and your kids. Focus on repairing moments of disconnect through open communication. Keep perspective by remembering the deep love for your child. With commitment and compassion for all, the authoritative parenting path will lead to positive outcomes for all. This ends part 5. Stay tuned for part 6, as it will be a wrap-up to this parenting series. Keep an eye out for a video trailer that I will post regarding this project. I thank you guys for your encouragement and support as we conclude this series. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and click the notification bell so that you can know when this part 6 will be made available. Thank you for viewing. See you in the finale.